I think we are fundamentally on two opposite different sides here. Yes, I think players have a job of executing plays, but there is someone who controls the operation and someone who makes the final say. Saquon just executes the final say, but there is someone who makes the shots. When we go into other countries, old Johnny from Lawrence, Kansas, he doing the shooting, but somebody in a suit is pressing the button.
We can't sit here. And last week I sat here and I praised Kellen Moore and Nick Sirianni against the Packers, throwing for that first down to Devontae Smith to ice the game. I cannot turn around the next week and criticize him for doing the same thing against the Falcons because that was the right play. That was the right play.
I think situations are different. It's situation to situation. Games are situational. Yeah, it worked last week, but look at the situation.
But it wasn't like the play blew up. Saquon just dropped it.
Okay.
It wasn't like it was a bad play because if Saquon catches it, it wins. And there's also a run option. If Saquon is covered, he turns into a lead blocker, and then Jalen can run. If you're short, you do that. I'm not mad at the play call. That is Saquon's fault. Saquon is paid top 5 money to do that.
You take the points in the first quarter. So that way, even if you do go for it on first and the same thing happens in the fourth, like it did, those points are null and void. You still have to make the Falcons go and drive the ball.
I have no issue with Nick Sirianni being aggressive in the first quarter.
But that's what lost you the game.
It did, right? Yeah. I'm not.
So if Dan Campbell, so that's what I'm saying. If Dan Campbell can recognize, my aggression put us in a situation where if we would have took the points, we ultimately would have won the game, and we didn't. We decided to go for it and didn't get it. Yes, we didn't execute on the field to get it, but it starts with the person who made the decision. We not pressing that button.
Well, a couple of things. I hear you, and I don't necessarily disagree with you. I'll say that Kellen Moore is the play caller. Nick Sirianni, that was the whole thing this offseason. My only criticism of Nick Sirianni in that final drive is you need to tell Kellen Moore from the very beginning, this is 4-down territory. We're going to ice the game. Because I feel like if we knew that play call to Saquon probably would have been different if he knew beforehand.
You think Kellen Moore got to the Falcons 10-yard line and did not know from Nick Sirianni what the plan was with those 4 downs?
I can't say yes or no. That's the only thing I can think of. Like I said, I have no problem with the play call. At some point, you got to rely on your players to make plays. The Eagles are built so that the offense will games. If I'm paying Saquon money, that kind of money, and he can't make a simple catch like that, we need to have another discussion. This team is not built on. If this defense needs to win this team games, it's going to be a long season in Philadelphia.
I think
all the resources on the offense.
I think your argument has so much more validity in the sport of basketball, where the players control so many aspects of the game. I think when it comes to football, both college, high school, and professional, it starts with the head coach, because schematically, no matter who's on the field, you have to scheme people open and you have to call the right plays and the right.
Was Saquon not open? Like, that's the thing. Saquon was open. If Saquon catches that ball, he turns around. It's a first down, game over. That was the right play.
That's what should have happened. Who's to say that safety that was playing that flat route doesn't come up and make that tackle?
That's the run option of the play. If Saquon is covered, Jalen has the option to tuck it and run.
Now I'm saying, what if he throws it and still comes up just short as he catches it?
Then you run the tush push on 4th down because it's 4th and inches.
Well, that was 4th down.
No. That Saquon play was 3rd down. Then they kicked the field goal. The thing with the Saquon, if he's short, then you run the tush push, you get the first down, because it was 3rd and 3 when they ran that play. I am not mad at that play call, because that play would have worked if Saquon does his job. This team is not built for – if you would have told me or any Eagles fan yesterday afternoon, you will hold the Falcons to 22 points, I would say, yep, that's a dub. Because team, the Eagles are even without AJ Brown. Year? Huh?
Because you saw the Falcons play last week and you said, if we can score 22 points, we can beat this team.
I saw the Eagles score 35 last week, because that's what that team is designed to do, to score high 20s, low 30s every week. That's how they're designed to win games. not by playing defense. If you'd have told me yesterday, and granted, they can't stop the run, they can't rush the passer, and they still held Atlanta to 22, I'd have been like, bet, that's a dub. Because the Eagles are designed to score 27 to 35 points a week, even without A.J. Brown. And I know A.J. is a top 5 receiver, but even without A.J., you got Devontae, Goddard, Saquon, Jalen, and Jahan Dotson. That should be enough. Even without A.J. Brown, the Eagles' skill position are still better than a third of the league.
Okay.
That skill position is better than the Panthers. That skill position is better than a lot of teams, better than the Rams right now.
So based off your argument, then, why is your inclination maybe your thoughts, critiques are at Saquon more so than Vic Fangio and whatever the fuck that prevent defense was?
Because best case scenario for the Eagles defense is that they're middle of the pack defense, 15 to 17. Realistically, they're going to be 22 to 25. Listen. All the resources to this team have been, Jeffrey Lurie has said himself, like, this is an offensive-based team. We are going to win games by scoring points. That is how the Eagles, they're not like the Ravens. The Ravens you can't run the ball and play good defense. That's not how the Eagles play. That team is designed, we're going to score 27 to 35 points a game, and we just need our defense. I need a turnover, a stop, very bend but don't break, which is what they've been doing. They held y'all to 3 field goals. Again, Atlanta had over 150 yards rushing. They only sacked Kirk Cousins once, and they still only scored 22 points. Again, if you told me that, I'd have said we winning by 2 touchdowns. Well, double digits.
So you're sitting here. So what I'm hearing is basically you're saying, yo, the offense should have bailed the defense out because we know this defense
every week because the defense sucks, and we know the defense.
That's not how football works.
I mean, that's how the
my man had to drive basically the length of the field. Granted, y'all did. I mean, didn't even look like y'all were trying to stop him. Like, I mean, that looked like a movie script drive.
The Eagles are built the same way the first rendition of the Chiefs Super Bowl teams were built. Like, we're gonna score a ton of points. Defense, we don't need you to be top 5. If you're 15 to 17, we'll be okay. Like, that's not saying that Jalen is Patrick or that AJ is Tyreek. I'm saying like that's the philosophy. The Rams play the same way. That's how the Rams play. That's how the Lions play. That's how the 49ers have good defense, but that's how the Lions play.
I don't necessarily think I would say the Lions play that way. I think the Lions
are terrible.
I think the Lions want to run the ball and beat you up and make you have to respect the run to then start play action passing and passing out of it. So then you don't really know what's coming. Pause. And then once they get up on you, that's when I think they really
I'm talking about defensive DVOA. The Lions were one of the worst teams last year.
I get what you're saying.
And they made it to the NFC Championship game. That's how the Eagles are thinking. Like, yep, we're going to do this because they can run the ball. They ran the ball all night.
Well, you got a running back at quarterback, so.
Yeah, whatever. Whatever. I'll take him. He better than Jared Goff.
Honestly, we'll talk about that Bucs-Lions game, but Jared Goff is so hit or miss. It is honestly hilarious.
It's insane. But that is the philosophy of the Eagles, like the same thing as Detroit. We are going to score a lot of points, and if we're up in the fourth quarter, like last week against the Packers, 7 minutes left, we're going to put a drive together. That's going to be 7 minutes. We'll score, and that's it. Last night was on Saquon. I was like,
so that's your final thoughts. Like last night, the Eagles lost because Saquon dropped the ball.
Yes.
Not my defense let Captain Kirk dice.
Oh no, they're not off the hook either. But like I said, if you would have told me yesterday that you
had Darnell Mooney doing the shooting action,
that was crazy.
Not Darnell Mooney, Drake London. Then y'all made Darnell Mooney look like fucking.
Listen, I'm not saying the defense is bailed out, but my expectations are low for the defense because I understand what the goal is.
Didn't you tell me your defensive player of the year, Jalen Carter?
Buddy, we need to have a Jordan Davis conversation, not a Jalen Carter conversation.
Jordan Davis is so big as a man.
In no universe should Jordan Davis not be double team Pauls every single play.
Yeah, because no offensive lineman can take him one-on-one. Pauls, he's just too massive.
But they're doubling Carter and just saying, "Hey, Jordan, what you gonna do? You fat and slow."
Yeah.
Like, there's no
But
reason.
I guess if you feel like your center's good enough, or athletic enough, hey, take this matchup 1-on-1. It's gonna be a handful.
You should not be able to run the ball down the Eagles, like right down the middle. Like, you should be running at Bryce Huff and Josh Sweat. You should not be running up the gut with Jalen and Jordan right there.
Yeah, y'all run a 4-3 or 3-4?
It's a 4-3, but it kind of shifts. They need to have 5 in the box for real because they can't stop shit. Bryce Huff can't stop anything. He has.
Yeah, I dare Vic Fangio to start trying to put 5 in the box and hope some DBs on the outside can hold up.
Hey, Quinyon Mitchell he gave up that out route last night on the final drive, but man, Quinyon a dog. Like, I can live with that as a rookie. Quinyon a dog.
Did you watch the traditional television cast or did you watch the Manning cast?
I did not want to hear what Peyton Eli had to say. I watched Joe and Troy, and Jason Kelsey was in the booth for the third quarter. So I know Peyton was going off. I saw the clips.
Now, I mean, you gotta understand these type of great legends. When they watch the game, they're watching it with different eyes.
Yeah.
So they always have Bill. I think they're doing this thing where they're bringing Bill Belichick on either for the first quarter or for the first half. And so it was Bill. I mean, Bill.
Which is funny because Bill was at the stadium.
Yeah. So Bill obviously has a lot of good football knowledge. I think when it came to like the last 5 minutes where I was tuning in, Peyton was just talking a lot about what the Eagles should do here. Like if he was in the huddle or in like on the sideline, what's the situation so like the viewer knows what they're talking about on the sideline, which I imagine that's why I asked you, do you really think Kellen Moore didn't know the situation in that? Because Peyton basically called out what they should be doing. Like up actually to that Saquon play. Yeah, they're gonna run it here on 1st and 2nd down. 3rd down, if it's 3rd and 3, they're gonna maybe try and out route to Saquon. If it's less than that, guarantee you they're gonna they're gonna tush push it, get this first down, ice the game. So then when they lined up and the play happens, as soon as he snaps the ball and Peyton sees Saquon roll out, he says, "Oh, they're throwing to Saquon right there." And as soon as he dropped it, bro, Peyton almost walked off the set because he was like, Peyton was literally like, "Yo, if they don't get this, they're gonna help out the Falcons tremendously." Like,
so you see,
Peyton was literally like, if they pass the ball, they are going to help out the Falcons tremendously. Because Peyton was like, go throw for this first down on this third. And Eli was like, swear to God, Eli was like, no, run the ball. Just run the ball and make them use that timeout. And Peyton was like, no, we want the first down. So that way, fuck their timeout. So it was, and they were dead evenly split. Obviously, they go for it on the third. They went for it. They passed.
Peyton, know that was a good play call, and Saquon just dropped it.
Yeah, like if I feel like honestly, if you had watched that Peyton and Eli cast, I feel like you would have came in and be like, "Yo, Sheriff said it. Sheriff said it.
Sheriff said it. He was right."
Yeah.
Well, how about you? How did you guys won with Malik Willis at quarterback?
Man, let me tell you something. To all my Packers fans out here, it's a great Tuesday to be a Packers fan. It's a great week to be a Packers fan. Did you watch the game by chance?
I did not. So I had on Red Zone Sunday, so it kept popping in and out.
Let me tell you something. If you watch that game, yo, if you were a defensive coordinator and you were traveling to Lambeau Field, knowing what was going on with the Green Bay Packers, what would be the first thing you tell your defense in terms of how you think they're going to attack you this week?
I'm going to put 7 in the box and make Malik throw it.
Yo, everybody in that stadium knew the Packers are going to run the ball. Bro, we had damn near 200 yards rushing by the first half. I was like, oh, yeah, nah. That's why if you were watching Red Zone, every time they turned back to the Packers game, it was halfway through the first, just starting the second. And other games are like
at halftime.
At halftime. We are halfway through the third. Teams are at halftime. They just went and ran the ball. Indianapolis could not stop the run. They saw the film from last week. Joe Mixon just running all up and down that defense. Even with Zaire Franklin, some of those defensive linemen the Colts had, they still can't stop the run after 2 weeks. So Matt LaFleur said, hey, if that's what y'all going to do,
Josh,
we
going
got
up in there, boy.
And then, you know what they started doing after that? The jet sweeps with Jaden Reed. They start rolling Malik out, give him safe, easy throws, let him get some confidence up. Then if you hear him in that post-game press conference, my man's got some confidence. And guess who we play this week?
The Bears.
Tennessee Titans.
Oh, the revenge game. Is it in Tennessee or is it in Lambeau?
Let's see.
It's probably in Tennessee, right? Because y'all were just at home.
But I also feel like it might be at home because we started the season out at whatchamacallit?
In Brazil.
in Brazil. Let's see. SeatGeek. Nope. Sunday, September 22nd. That's this week.
Sunday.
Yes. It is at Nissan Stadium in Nashville, Tennessee. So this is the revenge game.
Oh, and a homecoming. Oh yeah, Malik about to go all. Hey, start Malik in fantasy.
I will not. Speaking of players that you might have started in fantasy last Thursday, if you had any of the Dolphins players,
yes,
you would have saw that they got beat up on by the Bills. It was a beatdown basically from start to finish. I think the biggest conversation coming out of that game obviously regards the health of Tua Tagovailoa.
Yep.
He was knocked out of the game early with maybe like halfway with a concussion. It was announced today that they are putting him on IR so he can go see neurologists, and so we know he'll be out the next month. What are your thoughts on the recent dialogue going around that Tua should retire? I think it was Adam Schefter or Ian Rappaport came out and basically said he has no plans to retire, but curious on your thoughts there.
I forgot the player that said it. They were like, people thought I retired because of my foot, but I retired because I started seeing stars. I saw that somewhere on Twitter. Kyle, if you're here, can you look that up real quick? I forgot what NFL player it was. They were on a show. They're like, people think I retired because of my foot, but no, I retired because I start seeing blurry spots. Tua is free to make whatever decision he feels is right for him and his family. And if independent doctors, not team doctors, they have to be independent neurologists, are saying, yeah, you can play, then he has every right to go. We can't stop someone, and I'm using this for lack of a better term, we can't stop someone from killing themselves. Like, if someone wants to eat 40 Big Macs a day, then, hey, buddy, that is your right. If Tua wants to continue, at some point, the bill going to come due. At some point, all those concussions are going to take its toll on his body. I just hope it doesn't end in a Junior Seau kind of way.
I think when I started hearing about when the retirement conversation for Tua came up immediately after he got knocked out, the first person I thought about, to your point, was Junior Seau. And at what point do you think his family maybe had told him, like, this isn't worth it? I remember after the last one, there were reports that his own mother wanted Tua to retire. Like, his family had maybe had some conversations about retirement. Here's what I'm gonna say: as an athlete, maybe never a professional one. As an athlete, I know that difficulty, that it's a hard, lonely, dark road when it's time.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing, and I don't care what sport you play. Before you retire, before the world tells you to retire, you yourself are going to know it.
Yep.
You yourself are going to realize either physically, I'm starting to break down more. Physically, the game is way more faster than I am. Or mentally, my mind's just not there no more. I don't think a lot of people realize to be a Division I athlete, the obsession that you have to have with your sport is insane. To be a professional athlete, it's not an obsession. You have to be clinically insane about these sports. Y'all, I don't think people really y'all. There's a lot of fantasy yada yada talk, but I want to remind people, to be a professional athlete in any sport, you have to be a smidge clinically insane.
Not even a smidge. You have to be all the way insane. You have to live, eat, and breathe what you're doing. There is no off season. Like, this is your life.
This is your life. So I feel for Tua in a way where I know it's hard. Even if there were a few thoughts in even if it crossed the mind, do I really want to keep doing this? Imagine telling an athlete who's worked his whole life for this one contract that he just got a month ago, and now you're telling me I can't do this no more? Y'all telling me I shouldn't do this no more? Who the fuck are we?
Right. Who
the fuck are we? Yes, this young man down the road could have some troubling issues. Who the fuck are we? We gotta let people make them decisions for themselves. To your point, I think as long as Tua knows the world is here to support him, I've heard nothing but amazing stories about the man Tua is. So I know he has a really good support system around him. So as long as he knows that the people around him care, his teammates care, the football community really care about his health and well-being, he'll have the support of everyone. It's just this is a violent sport. This is a violent sport, man. It's tough.
And like you said, it's just, especially at his age, because he's in his prime. Like I'm sure it's very hard. Like Aaron Donald got out early, got his ring, got all the accolades. He said, "I'm good." Tua, I mean, he still has a lot to do on the field.
Yeah, over $200 million he just got a month ago. I want y'all to tell me if your employer gave you a 4 or 5 year contract for X amount of dollars that changes your family's life forever.
Yeah.
The fuck a motherfucker on the internet gonna tell me to retire for?
Right.
You retire. Matter of fact, I'm gonna put you on the field. You take some of these hits, then see the game check after, and then ask yourself if you would really keep taking these hits. Because I feel like a lot of you wouldn't be too much on this retirement shit.
Well, let me tell you something.
You get knocked around. Excuse me, Matt. Excuse me, Danny. You get knocked around for 60 minutes, but then afterwards, you see your game check is about $350,000 after tax. Yeah, I'll take a few more of these.
I will take a few more concussions if that means my family lives. They don't have to work for the rest of their lives.
The rest of your life, your family don't even know how to spell the words poverty. But Joe on the internet tell you, yo, have a second think on that because your health. Yo, I wish I had this same sort of energy with like people who like smoke and drink and text while drive. Simple shit like that. Yo, you motherfuckers out here telling Tua to retire. If I catch you texting while driving on everything, I'm setting it off. Stop it.
You gonna run someone off the road? You look like you're a little road rage. You have a little rage.
If I'm gonna be honest with you, if you heard the things I say to people in my car, it don't even be road rage. Just be like, yo, you are stupid. Like I know just off the way you drive, you stupid in real life.
That's why you and I are friends, because I'm a very aggressive driver. And my dad was like, you have to be a defensive driver. And I say, no, sir, I play offense.
Yeah.
Because I play offense.
So you can just tell the people who are driving is like, oh yeah, I just know your teacher handed you your grades back with the paper facing down, folded.
That's right. I take what I want. I take what I want on the road.
Speaking of teams or people that take things what they want on the road, the Saints went into Dallas. And they had
was a great segue. That was amazing.
The Saints had the Cowboys gripping the fucking pillow. That was nasty. Now you talking about games that was funny to watch on Red Zone when every time Scott Hansen turned on Dallas and New Orleans, Scott Hansen's like, well, goddamn, Dallas, y'all gonna start playing defense. Scott Hansen like, and another long Derek Carr touchdown pass. Another Alvin Kamara touchdown. Stop me if you heard it again. Alvin Kamara touchdown.
44. 40. The Saints lead the league in every offensive statistical category.
Makes you yo. The Saints are the team this year. The Saints are like the 7-0 Cardinals that started out a couple years ago.
That's exactly who they are. That is exactly who they are.
This team is like nastily good, and we need to take worry, or all it's gonna take is checks watch one loss, and this bitch is gonna start unraveling.
It's gonna see you Halloween, spook, and we out.
Yeah. Bam says in our conversation about Tua, he says football players are a different breed. They aren't like other athletes. You sign up for the sport knowing how dangerous it is. People saying Tua should retire don't really care. Essentially, this comes down to concussions versus generational wealth, and I agree. I agree. Yo, what do y'all tell basketball players if they had a history of like
chronic knee issues, chronic foot? Like, what do you tell the big center who has chronic foot issues? Retire? No, you say, hey, if you feel like you can play, go play.
Oh, I got a better one. What the fuck y'all tell Joel Embiid?
Exactly.
Tell me what y'all tell Joel Embiid. I want the world. Yo, tell me what you tell. Forget all the jokes. Yeah, you can't win the coverage. Yo, take all that away. Y'all know Joel Embiid, top 10 players on planet Earth when it comes to basketball. You've seen it. I've seen it. Say what you want about the flops. Your favorite player, when they see Joel Embiid on the calendar, they know it's a long day. Yep. But we also know Joel Embiid can't stay healthy. Are y'all going to tell Joel Embiid, yo, I know what Philly is paying you. I know what type of money the NBA gets you. the way your body is breaking down over the course of these 82 game seasons, I think it's better for your health if you just take the money that you got, just say fuck the Sixers and go. I don't think y'all really be thinking about this.
Nope.
They're about to get me going. Back to the Lions versus the Bucs. We started out talking about this earlier. Yep. So Tampa Bay goes back into Detroit. They had that playoff divisional game on their mind. They wanted revenge, and boy, did Tampa Bay get it. They had Baker Mayfield out there shaking defenders out their boots.
Crazy.
We spoke about the Saints. We're speaking about the Bucs now. I want to go back to our preseason, our preseason chat, right? You remember that?
I do.
So when I went back and looked at how I had the NFC South playing out, remember I had the Falcons 10-7, had the Saints 9-8, and I had the Bucs 9-8. The Falcons are 1-1, the Saints are 2-0, and the Bucs are 2-0. So now I'm sitting here wondering, okay, did I maybe get this wrong?
And I had the Falcons 11-6. I had the Saints 7-10. Here's my thing about the Saints, and I had the Bucs 9-8. So like I still think we're tracking. I'm with you. Like the Cardinals, that Cardinals team is exactly what I thought of. I think not that the NFC South is bad, because I don't think so. There's no way the Saints can keep up this 44-point. Now they play the Eagles this week, so they might. But I'm talking about over the course of the season.
The Cardinals play the Eagles?
No. The Saints play the Eagles in New Orleans on Sunday. So they're going to score 44 again.
God,
Saints about to score. They might crack 50.
God dang.
And I feel like every year the Bucs start off like this. Like they start 1-0, 2-0, 3-1.
They've also
5-2.
How many years in a row?
I mean, yeah, they're the adults in that division. Like the Bucs are the adults. Like I know what I'm gonna get. Todd Bowles is gonna blitz you. Baker's gonna catch a hot streak every once in a while, and then there's gonna be some games. Who should we draft? Right, and that's the Baker roller coaster. So I feel like we're at the high of the Baker roller coaster. I feel like it's going to come back down, but they're the adults of that division.
How long does Baker have to perform like this for you to say this just may be Baker? Because now we're coming up on, we saw last year, and they were a good team last year.
They won the division.
They look
and they beat the Eagles,
and they look better than they did last year. At what point do we have to say, yo, when you get away from franchises like Cleveland and Carolina, you might do something?
Well, that's not. Baker was the backup on the Rams and led that TD drive that got him to the Bucs. Like he is one Thursday night performance away from not being in the league.
So that should tell you, honestly, here's what I'm going to say about Baker Mayfield. He's earning my respect. I look at Baker Mayfield now and say, I don't think there's 12 quarterbacks better than you.
Yes. I would take Baker over Deshaun Watson. I would take him over. Yeah. Like I feel like the Deshaun
He's in the top
Watson,
half of quarterbacks in the league. Like if there's 32 starting quarterbacks, Baker Mayfield, top 16. And I would honestly say top 12, 13. He's a good quarterback and he is serviceable. Like, yeah, listen, I pay attention to body language. I'm a real body language studier. If you want to see teams that everybody on the field knows their quarterback is bad, you got to watch the body language of receivers in Denver and receivers in Carolina and receivers watch Deontay Johnson was out there fed the fuck up at the balls. Deontay Johnson he'd be running an outright. Sell it inside, my corner, hips, move it inward, boom, get him. He going outward. Bryce Young throwing the ball way out of bounds. Don't even give my man a shot to make a play. So it's like Baker look at how Mike Evans and Chris Godwin, they talk, all of these wide receivers, they know when they got somebody that can get them the ball when they need it. That's why Tyreek talk about Tua the way he do. That's why AJ and Devontae talk about Jalen the way they do. That's why the Packers receivers talk about Jordan Love. You see how Travis talks about Pat Mahomes. Before Pat Mahomes, Travis Kelce everyone was like, yo, this guy Travis Kelce is nice. I just don't know if Alex Smith can get it done. They started letting Pat Mahomes loose. Pat, you just seen Travis Kelce turn black.
Oh God. Well, now he back.
Became a brother.
Now he back to his origin.
Yeah.
He flew too close to the sun.
What's funny now is they got so many speed players that Travis Kelce is now their possession receiver.
Yeah, which is insane. Which is a great sunset to his career.
Mm-hmm.
You talked about Bryce Young for a second. Do you think it's over? Like, do you think it's a wrap for Bryce Young?
Let me ask you something. If you got promoted by your job, they paid you top of the line money, and a year in, they fire the person who hired you, hire somebody else, then tell you to learn a new role in that job, and then they fire you, do you think you would ever work for them again? Or do you think you might be like, yo, y'all was never serious about me?
Probably the latter.
Yeah. At what point, yo, Bryce Young, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart, I know the day that basically you realized your franchise regretted picking you and wished that they picked CJ Stroud, I know it hurt your heart.
Week one of last year? Week one of last year?
No, because remember, CJ Stroud didn't have the first good game. It took like 2-3 weeks before he got the cookie.
Yeah, but he still didn't throw an interception, though. Like, he didn't. Like, that was the whole thing about CJ.
True. I just know that probably by week 3 or 4 of last year, somebody either whispered it to Bryce Young, or maybe he might have heard in passing, but somebody probably said, we had CJ Stroud on. CJ Stroud was on the board with number 1 overall pick. Someone probably said something along those lines. Bryce Young, listen, I think you have been failed. I think you have been I don't think you've been given a fair chance to really showcase your abilities. But here's what I will also say. The Carolina Panthers. The worst thing that ever happened to the Carolina Panthers was
David Tepper?
No. The worst thing that happened to the Carolina Panthers as of late was the fact that the Washington Commanders got rid of Dan Snyder and decided that they wanted to be a half-decent organization. Because when that happened, it put the spotlight on the clear, only real, inept franchise that I think we have left. We have some lesser-than franchises, but I only think there's one true inept franchise, and that is the one sitting dead center in Charlotte, North Carolina. And oh boy, if it's not clear as day that the Carolina Panthers do not know what the fuck they're doing.
I can't wait. Was it 2024? The year's 2026. Yeah, maybe 2025, 2026. Matt Stafford is calling it a career, and Bryce Young comes off the bench in LA. And he looks next because that boy, he got Sean McVay written all over him. Like, if I'm the Rams, dog, I'll give you a 7th round pick for that boy. Tell him come across the country, because he feel like, because if Sean could do something with Stetson Bennett.
What do you think? Did you see Mel Kiper's kind of rant about this whole situation?
Boy, I didn't get a chance to watch it, but I saw that.
Boy, did Mel Kiper just take? Yo, Mel Kiper was basically like, yeah, we can say the performance on the field maybe wasn't the best by Bryce Young, but he's basically like, the Carolina, what have y'all really done to help him out? If you knew coming out of college his player comp was Russell Wilson or something similar like, then you have to recognize that Russell Wilson was about 5'10", a little over 200 pounds. Bryce Young is 5'10", 180. So now you're already dealing with somebody smaller. If you use a comparison to Kyler Murray, now you're talking about a thicker, small center of gravity. So it was never about can he escape the pocket. It was, can he see over his linemen? So that's why you see him a lot rolling out. Mel Kiper was basically like, so y'all recognize the comp, and then you don't do anything to really help him. You can't block him. You can't block for him. You're putting out receivers. You're putting Adam Thielen as your wide receiver 1 for his first year. Then before you decide you want to bring in a Deontay Johnson, and then you're mad at him and just expect that just bringing somebody else in is going to change what's going on here. No, y'all are inept.
Your running backs are Miles Sanders and Chuba Hubbard and Jonathan Brooks, but he's hurt.
Yeah, so Bryce Young, prayers up for you, brother. Hopefully, like Akon, they won't keep you locked up.
Enjoy LA, because you will be around.
What are your thoughts about the San Francisco 49ers going into Minnesota and getting beat down? Then the Chargers who played the Carolina Panthers, as you may have heard. They went to Carolina and beat up on the Panthers. So now, stop me if you have this on your bingo board. The Chargers and the Vikings are 2-0. What shocks you more?
It's got to be the Vikings, right? Because it's Sam Darnold.
Yo.
It's Sam Darnold. Like, if you would have told me the Chargers would beat the Raiders and the Panthers to go 2-0, like, that's not a stretch of the imagination.
Not a couple of opponents that you're afraid of.
But the Vikings beat the San Francisco 49ers, the NFC champion. Granted, CMC didn't play. Debo was hurt, but that don't got nothing to do with the defense. That ain't got nothing to do with that defense.
And Minnesota was giving them opportunities to come back in that game.
Yep. What did you see Justin Jefferson? They were like, you saw how San Francisco guarded Garrett Wilson, and he was like,
respectfully, I ain't Garrett Wilson. Then not only does he say that, he go out there and score a 99-yard touchdown. Yo, I'm watching this. I'm watching Justin Jefferson score that touchdown, and I think I may have texted in one of my fantasy chats. I was like, yo, y'all let Sam Darnold put fucking fear in your heart and had you scared to draft Jettas. To my fantasy community out here, if you are, to anyone who, I know we all do our dynasty leagues, but if you're in a redraft league where people were like legitimately afraid to take Jettas around 102, 103, 104 because Sam Darnold, please laugh at 102, 103, and 104 right now. I know whoever has 101 is sick to their stomach because Christian McCaffrey is hurt. So he already out over half the season. 102, 103, and 104, I know they looking away.
So I think you're laughing at me. I took Bijan.
Tell me if you had to redo over, would you take Jettas at 102 knowing that Sam Darnold can actually get him the football?
Yes.
I got him at 8. If Christian McCaffrey is your de facto 101, there is 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There are 7 people who have the opportunity to take Jettas and they were scared. CeeDee Lamb is the only person I said I can understand. After that
was because Breece Hall went, CD went, I had Bijan, CMC was 1. I'm trying to think who else went.
Gibbs? I'm throwing out players who usually.
Oh, okay.
Gibbs, Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Amon-Ra was 1. I remember
Hill.
that. Tyreek Hill. That was it. Those are the ones. Yeah, Kyle. So did I tell you about a draft I was in? I'm in a draft with some friends from college. It's a charity league. And one dude, because the guy who drafts 10 of us, the guy at 10 is a Chiefs fan. So Jettas was on the board at 10. He skipped Jettas. So the dude who drafted 9 got Jamar Chase and Jettas on the back end because he drafted 2 Chiefs. He drafted Patrick and Kelsey.
Yeah, sometimes we overthink it.
We overthink it.
Yo, listen, and this is the thing about football. Football at its core is so simple. Like the game, Let me find a way, because the game within the game is a little bit tricky. It's a cat and mouse game. But the game of football is you play special teams for field position. You play offense to score the ball, and you play defense to keep them from scoring the ball. At its core, it's so simple, and we overthink it. Yo, 9 out of 10 football fans will tell you Justin Jefferson is the best receiver in the league. Yet,
100%.
9 out of 10 fantasy players who know football coming into this season were scared to draft Justin Jefferson before 104 because of Sam Darnold.
So I wasn't scared to draft Jettas because of Sam Darnold. When we were drafting, and I told you how I think, like when I'm on the board, how many elite players are at this position and how many elite players are at that position. And whatever position has the fewest elite players that I think I won't be able to get on the back end, that's how I draft.
Yeah, true. But sometimes you gotta have tiers even in within the elite. You may not have a Kirk Cousins or maybe a top 15 quarterback throwing you the ball, but do you got somebody out there that understands NFL defenses and that can deliver the ball from themselves to you? You being a Justin Jefferson, you being Devontae Adams, you being who else maybe? Tyreek Hill, if you're questionable about Tua. I know some people were like,
Well,
maybe
even
Tua.
now with Skylar Thompson.
Yeah. Yo, starting quarterbacks are the best of the best quarterbacks, but that doesn't mean QB2 and QB3 are scrubs. That just means QB1 is the best of the room of QBs that team has. I think people got to remember that. That QB2 at some point was at a university that was either playing for a national championship, in the running for a national championship, or contending for a national
flirting
championship.
with the playoffs.
Right.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Like, ain't no scrub. Yeah. It's like it's like Dallas Mavericks getting Kyrie because everyone thought there was an ick on Kyrie because he didn't want to get a little shot. And it's like, yo, dog, fuck this little shot. When this shit blows over, you know that there are not 19 better basketball players than Kyrie Irving. Some say there's not 10 better basketball players than Kyrie Irving. And Brooklyn was like, oh, who won him? He pissed us off. And Mark Cuban just sitting somewhere like, shit.
Mark Cuban said, do you know what happened in the sexual harassment case that happened in my office 4 years ago? Bring that boy over here. He'll be just fine.
We'll get back into some fantasy. Let's get back into the NFL.
All right.
2 more games I want to talk about. First one, the Steelers outlast the Broncos, and they are now 2-0. Mike Tomlin already came out and said he is likely planning on starting Justin Fields again. I want to use this time as an ISO because before this season started, do you not remember me saying, yo, there's something funny about this Russell Wilson injury? How funny would it be if Justin Fields came out there and they won some games and they basically use this injury to keep Russ off the field for his own good?
You called it. D.
Mixtradom. Yo, I'm going to let the world know right here how I know how injury reports work on a track team. Here's how it works. Depending on the meet, depending on the track meet.
Thank you.
And depending on the track meet and depending on who you were on that team, and depending on which track meet it was, that's going to determine it's going to determine how the training staff talk to you and how the coach treats you that day. If this is one of them big meets and your injury is works doable, yo, dog, the training staff going to be like, all right, what can you work through? You know what that AKA means?
Can you
suck it up? Can you suck it up? And how much pain tolerance do you have?
Yep.
So I say that information to say, ladies and gentlemen, I firmly believe the Pittsburgh's training staff met with the head coach after training camp. Mind you, they seen Russ in training camp. Keep that tidbit of knowledge in the back of your head. The coach has seen Russ in training camp with this offense. They seen Justin Fields in training camp with this offense. Once they got inclination that brother had just a tingling of a pain, they saw enough. We're going to sit you down. Take all the time you need.
Don't come back to your 100%.
100%. We're going to let you get 150% health. Don't worry. We got this. It's a long season. They got 2 games in, and then they remember what they were seeing in practice, and they were like,
they said, Russ, don't worry about September, October. We need you in November, December. And by that time, it's going to be decided.
Here's what I'm going to say. I'm going to revisit this in a month. We're going to revisit this topic in a month unless something happens before then. Mark my words. If Russell Wilson has not started a game in the next month, y'all will not see Russell Wilson play quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers this season unless Justin Fields get hurt.
That's a fair.
And the only way they bench him is if he goes out there and looks absolutely putrid, talking about Justin Fields,
or he gets hurt. Which is possible. Because there's a Justin Fields stinker somewhere on the horizon. But I don't know if it's going to be.
But here's the thing, though. What do you call week 1 and then the outcome?
Yeah. That's
a stinker, and they still won. So if they're finding ways to stink up the game and still win, you can't look a locker room in the eyes and tell them we got to bench the quarterback. Even if Mike Tomlin wanted to bench Justin because he thinks Russell is the better QB, we're winning with Justin Fields. You bench him now, and Russ comes in here and stakes up the joint. Now you have damaged 2 QBs, and you've lost the locker room. I want to let
And the
Speaking of losing,
Steelers have built their team the opposite the way the Eagles have built their team.
Oh, yeah. They know they can't score any points. So all they need to do, 2 touchdowns, 2 field goals a game for them.
That's it.
And
give
they just
us 21 and we're good.
Speaking of losing the locker room, Cincinnati 0-2. I wonder if that pass interference call at the end of that game either broke the locker room up or helped bring them closer together. They played another nail biter, as do all Cincy and KC games go. Came down to basically the last play of the game again for the Chiefs, and this time it was a pass interference call. They end up kicking the field goal thereafter, winning 26-25.
Yep.
So my question to you is, should the AFC be worried that the Chiefs already have the head-to-head tiebreaker over the Bengals and the Ravens?
The AFC should have been worried the second Patrick Mahomes walked out week 1. I will say this. It is going to be super frustrating watching the AFC Championship game, watching CJ Stroud throw for 300-plus yards, 4 touchdowns to lose over a defensive penalty so the Chiefs can kick a field goal to go to the Super Bowl. Like, that's going to be so frustrating because that's what's about to happen. That was a penalty. Like, I'm not saying it was a penalty.
Took the word right out of my mouth. Yo, if you don't penalize them, we don't get in this situation. Same thing we said in the Super Bowl. Same thing we said in the last 2 Super Bowls.
I just find it funny that the Chiefs are like the only team that benefits from these penalties.
Do you remember the down and distance?
Was it 3rd and 6?
4th and 16. Do you remember how they got to 4th and 16? Talk about the Chiefs.
Was it a hold? Yeah, the Chiefs. It was a hold, right?
It's illegal hands to the face or a hold.
Which it was.
And if you remember that play that they called it, Travis Kelce picked up a huge gain. They called it back. What do you call that? You can find it funny. Effect. You can find it funny that the Chiefs always find themselves in these situations, but sometimes you got to acknowledge, yo, my dog, it was 4th and 16.
And that, like that was pass interference. I'm not saying it wasn't. I'm not.
He panicked and bailed out what was probably going to be an incomplete pass if he allows the ball to get there and then makes the play on the ball.
Yeah, he was a tick too early. That's it. Like he was just a hair too early. But that was pass interference. It's just funny, Chiefs games, not saying that the fix is in. The Chiefs just always find themselves in a place where
they're the new Patriots.
They are. Oh, yeah.
Teams find a way to piss down their leg when they play them. And it's you just get to a certain point where you're just baffled. You're stunned that every time a team plays this team, they find a way to piss it down their leg.
Yeah. The aura of Mahomes, the greatest quarterback ever, which he is.
He's getting there. Do you think Buffalo?
He there. Pat's the best ever.
You think Buffalo's the only hope at this point?
No, there is no hope in the AFC. Like your 2 hopes just lost. Yeah. Your 2 hopes are 0-2.
You got the only quarterback that can actually beat him in a shootout type of game, and the only other and then he lost to the MVP who has the offensive game plan to beat him in that just keep him off the field, and they both lost.
And we know how Josh Allen get when Mahomes was on the other side. He turned into a damn fool.
But sometimes, here's the thing. Some of those games, some of those Bills-Chiefs games, they turn into quick blowouts.
Yeah.
But they're always in the regular season. The postseason games clamp up.
You get the full Josh Allen experience every Bills-Chiefs game.
And
you get to play. Say what?
And if what's his name? Frank Clark? Not Frank Clark. Chris Jones? Frank Clark. If Chris Jones is still playing, Chris Jones has ruined Josh Allen's night. Chris Jones was the reason Josh Allen missed the throw in the end zone to Shakir on second or 3rd down.
Oh, wow. So Bam. Oh, yeah. So Bam's a Ravens fan. Bam has to call this out. Here we go. Bam said Chiefs got that penalty, but there was no call when they had a more egregious penalty against the Ravens in the AFC Championship game. Bam, I hear you, but I think you need to acknowledge the Ravens pissed on themselves. Like that Zay Flowers fumble.
That lost you the game. That penalty don't matter when your offense is driving down the field, getting ready to score the game-winning score. Fuck that. At that point, that penalty is null and void. Y'all are getting ready to win the game.
And Bam, before you say it, I know James Bradbury pissed on himself in the Super Bowl. I know.
Y'all, just like the week one, if you're a Ravens fan, week one, you could watch. It don't matter what penalties was called, this, that, and the third. Game on the line, you lost because Isaiah Likely's foot is on the line. You had these guys beat. Isaiah Likely's foot on the line.
But again, stuff like that, and not saying any kind of fixes in, but stuff like that only happens to the Chiefs. Like the Chiefs win the game because someone's toe was on the line. The Chiefs win a game because someone was a hair too early on 4th and 16.
Mm-hmm. Last note,
said that was a touchdown to win the game.
Last note, Marvin Harrison Jr.
Can we just go ahead and transition that to fantasy?
Listen, Marvin Harrison Jr. cost me a fantasy game this week because the team that I was playing, I ended up scoring like 129, 28, almost 130 points. And obviously the team that had Marvin Harrison Jr., they just...
Marvin Harrison Sr. made that call to Kyler Murray and said, I heard what you said about my boy. I need you to fix that. Buddy, did he ever?
You think he called him with that Shannon Sharp Michelle voice?
Yo, that was crazy.
Yes,
that was insane.
Yo, let me ask you something. Have you ever used IG Live?
I was so curious after that.
Did you have to try it out?
Yeah, and I was like, ain't no way this was an accident.
Hey, you was like, yo, I know I ain't that much younger than Shannon Sharp. I gotta see how you end up on IG Live by accident.
Here's what I think what happened.
What did you realize? So when you went and swiped over to the live, what did you realize quickly?
It's hard. It's a lot harder to go live.
It makes you say what? Somebody lied.
So I think because Shannon Sharp, he runs his account, but I also think he has someone. I think whoever runs his account for him accidentally went live.
No, the only way to go live is via the phone that you're on.
Oh, that's right. So yeah, you can't. Yeah, you're right. That won't no accident, man. That won't no hacking. That won't no accident.
You gotta press the button.
You gotta press the button.
And it's a countdown. Holy shit! I'm just thinking about it now. Yo, ladies and gentlemen, there's a countdown. 3, 2, 1. Before that bitch actually says you are live.
Yeah, you right. Ain't no.
Shannon. Now, Shannon over here talking about why would y'all think I staged it? Well, you think I would risk $150 to $200 million to stage it? And I was like, hold on, that is even more fucking reason why I think you staged this. What? I think you went. Listen, Shannon, I work in advertising and marketing. I think you went to whoever it has that media spend and said, yo, I can get you XYZ impressions. If I can show you that I can get XYZ impressions doing this, imagine the impressions if we do X and Y and Z, the things we were able to do with our brand partnerships. And they said, I would like to see you get those numbers. And he said, bet. Watch this. I got something in mind.
Dog.
To anyone out there that says, there's no way to fake this? Let me tell you something. I know digital marketing. One would say I might be a professional in it. I know how to create disruptive moments on the internet as a brand, which Shannon Sharp is. He is a brand. He's a brand. You can say what you want, but he's a brand. When you hear Shannon Sharp, you know who that is, what they do, how they sound, what they say. That's a brand.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm now in my work bag. Y'all say what you want. That is what it is. Now, the marketer in me, the 9-to-5 me said, damn, that was good. Damn, that was good. This is how I really know. Because if you really know, then you know the T and A's, the T and C's for Instagram. That's why the phone never showed a body part of nothing. You can still fall back on the fact that was just a recording in the background playing. You don't even know that was. That's my Michelle. Come on, y'all. Shannon.
And then he tried to make merch. That was lame.
Then you're going to sit here and tell us this not come on now.
That was lame. Like the merch, it was funny.
Now you're talking to someone who works not only in digital marketing, but a retail brand. I I sell this type of shit. Now I know that there's a lead time just on the shirts and the design. It's okay. Back to fantasy. So, I'm in 9 leagues this year. So my weekly goal is 5 wins. That's why I like being an odd number of leagues. So that way on a week to week basis, I know if I have a winning percentage or a losing percentage. Fuck all that 500 shit.
Okay.
That's that psychopath in me. I went 4-5 this week.
Okay.
Marvin Harrison basically won Zorian a game. Another league, which I think is my best team. I lost the game strictly because the other team just had like the Alvin Kamara, CeeDee Lamb type combo where it's like, it's just their week. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just their week to get this shit off. Eventually my game is coming for something like this. Here's the thing though, when I look across the landscape of my teams, I have 3 2-0 teams, including the Las Vegas Horn Ducks.
Talk to him.
Which, listen, matter of fact, y'all lucky I can't find the Ether instrumental right now. But after 2 weeks, I go back to this. Y'all laughed at me for my off-season moves and trades. Who the fuck is laughing now? Y'all laughed at me when I easily and quickly gave up George Pickens and Trevor Lawrence to get Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs. Then flip Stephon Diggs to get Jameson Williams. Come on.
Well, over here.
Traded last season to get Devon Achane and Mike Evans in the same draft. In the same trade. Stop playing with Los D-Mix, the commissioner / GM. Y'all see what I'm doing right now. And I'm recognizing my weak points, specifically at tight end, specifically at running back. I'm going to tell y'all right now, and I'm talking to the All Money and Dynasty League. If you're hearing this, just know when we get these super flexes going, and depending on what we do with the IDPs, which I want everyone to know that's in my Dynasty Leagues or in my Fantasy Leagues, weekly I'm going to start coming in. I'm just coming in and ask y'all, what's your stance on the IDPs? We're about to get to it. But I want to let y'all know, put some respect on the Las Vegas Horned Ducks. Because this is a team that, after 2 weeks, we are leading the league in the offensive category of points for. Recognize. Go ahead, Matthew. Danny, I'm sorry.
Well, over here at Ronald Asler's tax returns, we
also
too are undefeated. And this team, there are a few weaknesses, very few, like nothing that I need to be very concerned about at this time because Dalton Kincaid is on the way. But Zach Charbonnet, drafted him, thought it was a little risky. Now look, we in here.
Kenneth Walker out.
The running back room I thought was old and weak, and now the running back room has the perfect blend of veteran leadership in James Conner and Montgomery and Tony Pollard. And we got some youth with Zach.
Hold on. Listen, that running back room, it's only a matter of time for that running back room. Say them names again.
I said it's Tony, it's James, and David Montgomery. It's old.
Oh, yeah, by week 8, you are about to come in here and say, yo, get these old niggas off my team.
But Zach is Zach Charbonnet, and then I have Blake Corum. I have a lot of faith in Blake, maybe not this year. This team was...
Go ahead. No, I'm sorry.
And then I told you about my running back philosophy. Jalen Hurts masked a lot of my running back weaknesses with the tush push. That was the philosophy. My running back room isn't strong, but I have a quarterback that snipes a lot of rushing touchdowns. So Jalen is still there. And this team was built on elite pass catchers. Marvin Harrison Jr. and Devontae Smith are leading this team to a deep playoff run. Mark my words. 2-0. We 2-0. We were the weak teams.
Listen, it's funny. I hope people are starting. I hope people in the All Money and Dynasty League are starting to see what happens when you make that consolation tournament, because we are now in year 3, and I'm seeing the last 2 years, the teams that came out of the consolation tournament.
And here's the thing, even at 2-0, here's what I have at my disposal to mask some of those weaknesses or strengthen my team. I have a first-round pick next year, 3 seconds, and 3/3 in next year's draft.
Listen, next year, I'm actually very curious to see how Rojo does next year. I have Rojo's first and second round pick, and he is currently 1-1. So I need Rojo to start losing.
Guess what? Guess what Rojo's only loss is to?
That was to you.
To the Ronald. Listen, man. If we week 8 and we still good, hey, we're gonna start wheeling and dealing. Like I said, 3 3s, 3 2s in the first. In next year's draft, we can do a lot of damage.
Listen, week 7 at the halfway point, Ronald Isley's tax returns gets a visit from the Las Vegas Horned Ducks. We don't see.
That might be for first place. That might be the tiebreaker. The way we going.
Listen, if it is, just know that week it's gonna be some shit talking on this broadcast.
That's okay, because the Eagles bye week is week 5, so Jalen will be there week 7, barring injury.
Okay.
But again, there's a few weaknesses, but we all right.
A little college football. Yo, let me tell you about one league. One of my redraft leagues. It's the one redraft league I really, really want to win because it's the one redraft championship that's been ducking me. And I've had what makes me mad is that this league, I've probably had like 3 or 4 championship level teams that just couldn't get the lineup right in time. You know, just those type of teams you just could never get the lineup right. You end up losing. In this league, let me tell you something. Last week, I played the defending champions. Let me read you some names. Let me read you some names on this team of people that I don't think I'll be seeing anytime soon. Jordan Love, Jake Ferguson, David Njoku, Isaiah Pacheco, all on one team. I've lost them in 2 weeks. Mind you, last week, guess who fucking saved my ass in this league? I'm 1-1 this league, and I was looking 0-2, dead in the eyes, 2 straight years. Last year in this league, I only won like 6 games, and it came to Sunday Night Football, and I'm looking at the score, and I'm like, oh, I don't know if I have enough dogs to win this game. And I only got one person in this Sunday Night Football game that could put enough distance between me and him that I could win. Who do you think that was?
Last Sunday night. Who played last Sunday night?
Texans and Bears.
Oh, this past Sunday night, Nico Collins.
Give you one more guess. He is a Texan, though. Here's your hint.
Was it Joe Mixon?
Kaimi Fairbairn. Oh. Saved my fucking ass.
Oh, that's funny.
Saved my ass. I end up winning the game by 6. You know what happened? The last 50-yard field goal that the Texans kicked won me the game.
That's hilarious. Hilarious.
So on this team, get this. This league is funny. So I went into last week with the second waiver pick, and I was so sure that I put in 2 waiver claims, Jordan Mason, Isaiah Likely. I put Isaiah Likely 1 because I said there's no way Jordan Mason is not going to get picked with the first waiver pick because the guy who had the first waiver pick had Christian McCaffrey.
Okay.
So you see my thinking? Mm-hmm. He's going to take the backup. Who do you think this guy took?
Who?
Isaiah Likely, because he had Mark Andrews and wanted the backup. Bro. And Isaiah Pacheco gets hurt last week. Jordan Mason may have just saved my season.
What a time to be alive.
So now for week 3, this league, and this is going to be a weekly, I might have to ask you about the starting lineup every week. So now my 2 running backs, my running back 1 will be Jordan Mason. My running back 2 will be Ramondre Stevenson. Rasheed Rice is my wide receiver 1. Amon-Ra St. Brown technically is my wide receiver 2. I think he should be good to play this week. Right now, I'm struggling at flex and tight end because David Njoku and and Jake Ferguson are my 2 tight ends. My other tight end on the roster right now is Colby Parkinson.
Who's out on the waiver wire?
Hunter Henry, Taysom Hill, Mike Gesicki, Zach Ertz.
Hunter Henry did all right Sunday. I mean, he was serviceable. Mike Gesicki's doing pretty well in Cincinnati right now.
Since he plays Washington, though, who seems to be first against the tight end so far this season.
Well, Hunter Henry, who the Patriots play? They got the Thursday night game against the Jets, right?
Yeah, and I don't know how I feel about.
I don't know how I feel about that.
Here's the thing: Zach Ertz plays on Monday, and I have Zach Ertz in a few other leagues, and Zach Ertz has kind of been eaten with Jaden Daniels at QB, and they're at Cincinnati on Monday. Cincinnati's 0-2.
They're in desperation mode,
and they might try to get up big, which means the Commanders might have to pass the ball. But here's the thing: that same defensive line that gave Patrick Mahomes some trouble will probably also give Jaden Daniels some trouble, and they got some good corners. So I think there's a risk of some picks too. So I don't know if I should then just ride Colby Parkinson out or hope that Jake Ferguson or David Njoku come back, because Cleveland plays the Giants and Dallas plays Baltimore.
Cleveland plays the Giants. I will go with I guess the Giants.
So I got to hope David Njoku.
I just made a trade offer to Shits and Grins in our league. I hope he takes it.
So that's my tight end. That's my tight end thing. I know I'm gonna hit up Kyle. Here's my flex issue though.
Okay.
So here are my options.
Okay.
Jerome Ford, the Cleveland running back versus the Giants.
That's it.
DK Metcalf versus the Dolphins. Michael Pittman Jr. versus the Bears.
I'm going Jerome Ford. The Giants are terrible. Like, the Giants are awful.
Okay. The Giants are bad, but DK Metcalf?
I mean, Jalen Ramsey is still a Dolphin. Like, Jalen Ramsey is still a really good corner. And he's big like DK, and he's physical.
What can we see DK versus Jalen?
And DK has been known to be a little erratic, and I feel like Jalen Ramsey is the kind of corner that would put him in a position to be erratic, like talking trash to him.
So let's look at this. Jalen Ramsey versus DK Metcalf. All right, no, that's not helping. I'm trying to find Jalen Ramsey versus DK Metcalf. Jalen Ramsey versus DK Metcalf in the last 2-3 years. No, they're not giving me what I need. Jalen Ramsey versus.
Oh, try StatMuse because they might give you a breakdown.
StatMuse, Metcalf versus Jalen Ramsey log in the last 3 years. Okay, he's played for the Dolphins, right?
Yeah,
Jalen Ramsey. Before that, who else has he played?
He was a Ram.
Metcalf versus the Rams. Let's see. Okay. He's been a Ram for how many years?
He was a Ram, I want to say 2020. Yeah, he was a Ram 2020, 2021, and 2022, and then he went to Miami in 2023.
Okay, so 2020 to 2022.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's go. 2020, 2 receptions, 28 yards. Game 1. Game 2, 6 catches, 59 yards. Game 3 in 2021, 5 receptions, 98 yards, 2 touchdowns. Okay. Game 2 in 2021, 6 receptions, 52 yards. Game 1 of 2022, 8 receptions, 8 targets, 127 yards, a touchdown. In the second game of the 2022 season, he had 3 receptions for 40 yards. And then you said he played for the Dolphins.
He's been with the Dolphins since then. So he's been with the Dolphins. 2023 and 2024.
Yeah. So they haven't played. He hasn't played versus the Dolphins. So if you look at the Rams,
It feels very boomer bust, and Ramsey isn't that Ramsey from the Rams. Like he is not, even though he just got paid again.
so here's the thing. Last week I benched DK Metcalf to start
Oof.
I benched DK Metcalf to start the trio of running backs of Isaiah Pacheco,
Okay.
Jordan Mason, and Ramondre Stevenson. Mind you, I have Rashee Rice too. So I started Pacheco to get the Rashee Rice Pacheco stack. So now with Pacheco out, it's like, okay, I think I should run Mason and Stevenson as RB1 and 2 and just keep DK Metcalf as a consistent flex because just off of pure volume. Their game script may affect Cleveland too much. So
but JSN is starting to get involved too in the Seahawks offense because JSN had 117 last week, right? Like he's starting to get.
Last week, DK Metcalf had 14 targets for 10 receptions, 129 yards, and a touchdown. So even if JSN is getting busy, brother got 14 targets.
That's true. Tyler Lockett's falling off a cliff. I think it's a coin flip. Me, I don't respect the Giants. That might be because I'm an NFC East resident. To me, Jerome Ford against the Giants. Because I don't trust Deshaun Watson throwing the ball at all. I don't trust him passing anything.
Yeah, but the Jags can't be that much better than the Giants. They're not that much better than the Giants, and they were still trying to pass the ball. Kevin Stefanski's offense is a pass-happy offense.
That's true. Kyle, what do you think? I think you should start Jerome Ford, but I understand the argument for DK.
I think I'm gonna go with DK just off of pure volume. But here's the thing. My defense is the Steelers' defense, a solid defense, but they play the Chargers. Do you look at the Steelers' defense as matchup proof? You just got to play them?
Yeah, you got to play them until proven otherwise. If anything else, TJ Watt gonna give you, well, not 2 sacks a week, but yeah, I say you play the Steelers until you're proven wrong. Because do you think the Steelers are going to have a hard time shutting down Quentin Johnson? I don't think so.
My last question for you. Jordan Love is my starting QB. My backup QBs are Jared Goff and Matthew Stafford right now. Obviously, not the hottest. Right now, top of the waivers is, you guessed it, Derek Carr, Geno Smith, Kirk Cousins, Justin Fields, Aaron Rodgers, Sam Darnold, Trevor Lawrence.
Well,
do I go for Derek Carr just off the thinking that the other guys will be too busy trying to get flex players to try to get Derek Carr, or do I assume somebody will try to grab Derek Carr and look to get Sam Darnold?
I say someone's gonna. Did you see what Kirk Cousins did to the Eagles last night? Now imagine what Derek Carr could do. Someone's going to try to get Derek Carr, but if you don't get him, you do have a lot of reasonable options out there.
Well, then let me look at the.
And who does Goff play this week? I feel like they have a pretty.
Lions play the Cardinals.
Oh. No, you know what? But Jonathan Gannon's cover 2 is very easy to dissect. I might go for Goff. Like Gannon's style of defense is very passive. It's a lot of underneath stuff, but you're going to get your yards.
Yeah, but listen, I trusted Jared Goff last week against that Tampa defense, and
Todd Bowles likes to blitz though. That's his thing. And Jared he's okay against the blitz, but Jonathan Gannon's cover 2 shell, like it's a fake Vic Fangio defense. Like the Gannon's scheme is designed to stop the big play, which is fine. Because Amon-Ra, you can line him in the slot and eat those linebackers alive. I would take Goff.
Here's the thing. I'm looking at everyone's QB. It's a 10-team league. It's a 10-team league, and I'm looking at everyone's QBs. They got solid QBs. I think I could drop Matthew Stafford, maybe go for Derek Carr. Kyle says I should go for Geno.
Yeah, I like that idea.
The Geno DK stack.
That's actually, and you'll still benefit if JSN gets busy.
Kyle, what would you say if my pushback to starting Geno would be that the Dolphins without Tua are going to be a little offensively inept, and there's a chance that game script might have the Seahawks running the ball more, even without Kenneth Walker. What would you say to that, Danny?
See, that works for me because I have Zach Charbonnet. I hear you because they're going to try. The only way you can beat Miami's speed is if the speed is not on the field. So how do you do that, right? Run the ball, keep them off the field. At the same time, I would feel like as a coach, I'm willing to take more risk knowing that Skylar Thompson's on the other side. Like Skylar is going to have to beat me for me to be like, I'd be more willing to take risk on the offensive side of the ball, like throwing it potentially more to get up big so I can just let loose on Skylar for the rest of the game compared to, because I don't want to keep it close. I want to put Skylar in a position where he has to throw the ball, and I know it. So how do you score in the NFL? You throw the ball. Maybe I'm willing to throw the ball more against the Dolphins to see if I can get up big. And if I don't, and it's a tight game, and if Skylar Thompson has to drive down the field to beat me, then so be it. I could live with that.
All right. I'm going to put in the claim right now for Derek Carr. I think Derek Carr should be option number one because I do think.
Oh, he's going to feast against the Eagles.
Yeah. So goodbye, Matthew Stafford. Honestly, I don't think anyone's going to go for a QB.
And if they do, like Kyle said, like Geno makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. Because I know someone will pick up Derek Carr. I doubt anyone will pick up anyone after that. And if they do, then so be it. Do you think I should keep Colby Parkinson or
I say you go after somebody else?
I'm gonna be honest with you. I like Zach Ertz. I kind of do like Zach Ertz. I think he's going to see, because I have him in a few leagues, and he sees enough volume that he might just do what I need him to do at that tight end position. 8 to 10 points is all I ever need from that position.
That's a risk, but I understand where your head is at. Because they play the Monday night game, right? The Commanders. It's Commanders Bengals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Colby Parkinson got one reception for 12 yards. But there's no Puka, there's no Cooper Kupp, so the volume will be there.
You would think. But Sean McVay loves to run it too. Like yeah. Who do the Rams play again?
San Francisco.
Ugh, Fred Warner's there. Never mind. Hell no.
Yeah.
Fred
Sorry, Colby. I'm gonna go with Zach Ertz.
Yeah, hell no. If it was anyone else other than Fred Warner or Roquan Smith, I might listen.
Yeah. Let me tell you about this one trade offer I got in a league, and then we can start to wrap this thing up.
Okay.
We had some quick hitters, and then we can wrap this thing up. Somebody in a dynasty league sent me a trade. I would receive Keenan Allen. Okay. No. Yeah, I received Keenan Allen, and then the other guy would receive Devin Singletary and a third round pick. 12-team dynasty superflex PPR with a tight end premium league.
All right, so you're getting Keenan Allen and you're giving up Devin Singletary in the third.
Mm-hmm. And I'm giving back the guy his third round pick. Like he traded me the third round pick earlier.
How are you at receiver? I don't like that on its face.
I fully planned on turning this trade down, but I'll read my receivers. Tyreek Hill, Khalil Shakir, Calvin Ridley, Lab McConkey, Amari Cooper, Brandon Cooks, Josh Reynolds, Ray McLeod, Wan'Dale Robinson. I also have DJ Chark on IR.
Okay. I mean, you have Amari too.
Literally what I told him, I was like, yo, if I take on Amari Cooper and Keenan Allen, I just feel like in a few years, I'm going to need walkers for these guys. So I don't know if I want to take on both of them.
That's fair. I mean, I don't like it that much. What is your running back? Do you need running backs?
My running backs right now, Josh Jacobs, Rashad White, Devin Singletary, Rico Dowdle, and Zamir White.
Yeah, I would.
I need him.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, I wouldn't do it. Devin Singletary is your insurance in case one of those other two guys get hurt. Because what happens if one of those other two guys get hurt? Zamir White?
Yo, Zamir White. I traded for him in another league, and I'm just like, oh, no. What are your thoughts on Kareem Hunt expected to sign back with the Chiefs? You think that's going to be a big game changer?
No. Y'all can put in that Claver, that Wayne, that wave if you want. Yeah, it won't be me.
Let me name some college football games. Let's just pick winners real quick. Friday Night Football, we got some Big Ten action. Number 24 Illinois versus number 22 Nebraska, who has a Patrick Mahomes lookalike at QB.
Give me the lookalike.
Yeah,
he's so funny.
Matt Rule said that he saw the Mahomes comparison and he sees it. NC State travels to number 21 Clemson. Do you think NC State can pull off the?
Hell yeah, I can. Yep.
Listen, in an alternate universe, I am a huge Clemson fan. I can't make that known because they only offered me 75% when I needed that full ride. But I am going to go with Clemson on this one. Number 11 Southern Cal travels to the Big House.
Give me that. Give me USC in the upset. There are a lot of questions going on for Michigan.
Bam, you're going to appreciate it. Bam, you're going to
give me Michigan. I take that back. Give me Michigan.
Bam, you're going to appreciate this one. I think USC is going to find out how difficult it is to play in the trenches with a team like Michigan. Give me Michigan to grind, run the clock, control time and possession. They're going to win an ugly game. I like Michigan to win this game.
Yeah, give me Michigan.
Number 12 Utah versus number 14 Oklahoma State. A little Big 12 action for the Utes.
Are they at Oklahoma State or are they Utah?
At Oklahoma State.
Give me Utah.
I like the Cowboys in this one. I think they won a crazy, ugly game not too long. Maybe been last week. They won a crazy game. I think that momentum. That momentum shifts. I think Coach Gundy's gonna have them in a good spot. I like Oklahoma State. An SEC matchup. Oklahoma State's arch rival, the Oklahoma Sooners, take on the number 6 team in the land, Tennessee.
Oklahoma. Oklahoma, this is your welcome to the SEC moment. Like this is welcome to the SEC. Like I think Texas has transitioned to the SEC a lot better than Oklahoma has. So this is going to be Oklahoma's welcome to the SEC.
You like Tennessee?
Yeah, this is going to be you're not in the Big 12 anymore. You're going with Oklahoma?
Nah, I think Tennessee's going to win this one. I think listen, this freshman QB that Tennessee has, they're really, really good. And Tennessee style of offense is hard to defend with these wide splits, man. They're fucking annoying. You don't know what to do.
Is that the ABC night game? Is that the ABC game?
It might be, but I'm not fully sure.
Okay.
Ole Miss and Wake Forest played last week. So
Ole Miss beat the piss out of them.
Yeah, they did. Speaking of shifting over to basketball a little bit, so the commissioner Adam Silver said that there is some interest in some NBA expansion.
Yep.
Let's take Vegas and Seattle, the clear two cities that will probably get NBA teams first. Give me some NBA cities. Give me some American cities the NBA should consider.
I will say the Oklahoma City Thunder have already said if Seattle gets a team, they will give them their history back. Like they will give Seattle the hit. Because right now, all the Seattle history is tied to the Oklahoma City Thunder because Seattle moved to Oklahoma City.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
Yeah, the Thunder said if Seattle gets a team, like they will give Seattle like that history back. So that's
they
pretty
can have
cool.
The Sonics back. They'll just bring
the Sonics, you get everything you got, you'll get it back. So I like Seattle. I like Vegas.
That's actually a really classy move.
Yeah, Kyle. Vancouver, but they were the Vancouver Grizzlies. I don't know what you would name them. 2 Canadian teams is always good.
Mm-hmm.
There's always, I'm just trying to think regionally what makes sense. Because
you start thinking about cities, if you put the NBA cities on a map, you start thinking about it's a lot of teams on this East Coast.
Yeah. If you give Seattle and Vegas, that means you're going to have to put Memphis in the Eastern Conference, and you're going to have to put someone else in the Eastern Conference, probably New Orleans. You're going to have to, because Memphis should be in the Eastern Conference anyway.
Yes.
So probably Memphis, probably New Orleans to go to the Eastern Conference. I'm trying to think of some Eastern teams that could use
Well, let's if we're thinking on the guise of them adding 4 new teams with
Yep.
Vegas and Seattle automatically being the 2 that get added to the East, then Memphis and New Orleans get added to the West. Then they say we can add 1 more team to each conference.
Let me pull up a map because that is a great question.
I would say if you were to look on the East Coast, you would have to think of there's a team in North Carolina, there's a team in Georgia, there's a couple of teams in Florida. They're not going into Bama. There's a team in Tennessee.
Yeah, they're not going into West
Oh,
Virginia.
oh, I'm crazy. They put one in Kentucky, either Cincinnati.
Okay.
Probably in Cincinnati.
Well, Cincinnati's in Ohio, but you are.
I'm sorry. Cincinnati.
But yes,
Cincinnati's
Kentucky.
close to the Kentucky border.
Yeah.
So they might put one in like Louisville. They might put one. I guess because Kentucky is a big basketball state without a basketball.
And they used to have the ABA in Kentucky, the Kentucky Colonels. So yes, that makes sense. Kentucky.
Kentucky would be one for the East. So then if you had to add one to the West,
you said Vegas, Oklahoma, maybe. Oh, you got the Thunder.
Yeah, Thunder. And that state's not big enough for 2.
No, hell no.
Utah
Texas
has
already
1.
has
Arizona,
3.
Yeah, Texas has 3. California has 3 or 4.
California has 4.
Oregon has 1. Washington would have 1 if you assume that Seattle.
Yeah.
The West Coast is tricky because them other states outside the ones we just named are states nobody wants to fucking go.
Yeah. Could you put another one in Arizona, like in Tucson, or do you think it's not big enough? Maybe New Mexico. That's all I got. You can't put 2 in Oregon. You can't put 2 in Washington. You can't add another California team.
The only thing I could see you doing is adding another one to another Texas team to one of the cities, or you add a Kansas team.
Yeah, I'm thinking Austin. Like Austin gets its own team. Yeah, Kansas City. That would be better than a 4th Texas team because you got Dallas, San Antonio, and Houston. I don't know what other city could fit.
Austin would be the other one.
Yeah, it'd probably be Austin.
Austin would be the other one, and then Kansas would probably be the other one. And
I'd pick Kansas.
Put it right in Kansas City.
Yeah.
Tough. It's tough when you think about it. Adam Silver, if you get one in Kansas City and get another one to Kentucky, not bad.
You might be cooking with something.
Watch out. Adam Silver, just know I work in marketing too, brother. You might see this near this. Thoughts on Asia Wilson becoming the first WNBA player to score 1,000 points in a season?
Unanimous MVP. Been saying it all season. There was a second when Nafisa Collier was neck and neck. That has died a long time ago. She's the best basketball player in the world.
You think Asia would be offended if it wasn't unanimous?
Yes, she should be. 1,000% she should be offended. No one has scored.
You know how not crazy, like on Asia's part is? Do you know how like crazy you would look in a room when it's clear that everyone knows that this is clearly the MVP and you have that one person in the room that says, I think X, Y, and Z is better? And
you deserve to get slapped.
It's like, yo, dog, we know you. Yo, if 30 of your peers who are also credited as some of the best knowers of the game say this girl is clearly the MVP and she's done something no one else has done, how do you sit there and say X, Y, and Z could be better? No, they could. Statistically, it's proven.
And the crazy thing about Asia, it doesn't come from a bunch of threes. Her game is her back to the basket in mid-range. The efficiency which she plays with is insane.
I mean, she gets real buckets.
She gets buckets like 90s players. Like she's not out here just jacking up threes to 1,000. Like she's extremely efficient.
WNBA updated playoff picture. Should the Aces be worried about this three-peat that they're trying to do? And should we start looking at the Fever as someone who can make a run?
So the Aces lock up the 4 seed, I believe, if they win one of their next 2.
That would guarantee home field throughout like the first round?
The first round, and then they'd have to go on the road to either Connecticut, New York. I just had the rankings up. I forgot who's third. Minnesota.
I know they don't. I know they don't want to go to New York until they really have to.
Yeah, I don't think they want to see New York until the finals, but they might have to see them in the second round. Here's my thing about Indiana. I think they can pull off the upset in the first round, depending on who they get. They're either going to get Minnesota, Connecticut, because I think Indiana is 7th right now. Hold on.
They're the second team out. Second team from the last place.
Yeah, so they're 7th. So that means who are the second? So they would face Connecticut right now, I believe. Hold on, let me pull it up before I start talking. Here's my only thing about. Oh no, so the Fever are the 6th seed, so they would play Connecticut. So no, New York gets the bye. So Phoenix would play Minnesota. No, the 8th seed. No, I'm right. So Indiana would play Connecticut. Here's the thing. The way Connecticut plays defense, I don't think the Fever can beat them because they are extremely physical. Dejanay Carrington, outside of Asia, should be Defensive Player of the Year. She's probably going to get second place. She presses the ball. I've been saying all year, Caitlin has a weak dribble, especially when she's waiting for screens, and Dejanay has picked her pocket multiple times. The Fever can make a run, but if their downfall is going to be Caitlin and her inability to handle her emotions on the court.
Really?
She is already, I think it's 6 techs before you're suspended, 6 or 7. Like she is 1 away from being suspended. Now, if she gets it in the last game of the season, it does not carry over into the playoffs. But like that's the kind. Do you watch Fever games?
I've watched like 1 or 2.
So I believe they played Sunday, and she got so angry at the refs that 2 teammates had to like pull her away. Like that's the kind of shit that cost you in the playoffs. But Kelsey Mitchell, her teammate, she's gonna be an ace next year. She's averaging like damn near 30. She a monster.
Yo, is it safe to say that maybe Aaliyah Boston might be the issue?
I don't think so. I think Indiana is better when they run their offense through Aaliyah.
No. Not like from an on-court POV. I'm saying these girls be they be on the verge of getting ready to put hands on Aaliyah Boston. Everyone's like, it has to be something with these vets. Why? And it's like we're at the end of the season now, and this is still happening. Maybe this girl is out there saying some type of shit that might get some hands put on you.
She might be, and I have a feeling she wears long braids. Like I feel like I'll get really annoyed if her braids hit me in the face every time I go for a rebound or every time she posts me up. Like that shit get on my nerves.
Danny, she is not the only woman in the NBA with long braids. What are we talking?
I'm trying to think who else, because mostly everyone else wears their hair in a ponytail. Like Satu Sabali has long braids right now, but that's not her thing.
I think I think Aaliyah Boston wears it in a ponytail. It's just
but the braids are still long. Like the braids are still swinging. I'm not saying that's why people are mean to her, but I don't know. Like I think
I'm saying there's a reason why they mean to her, and I think from the outside looking in, we can keep being like, why the vets keep picking on Aaliyah Boston before we have to say, yo, if everybody in the room wants to beat your ass, you gotta. Eventually, I'm gonna just wonder, what are you doing to these people to piss them off?
I'll say one last thing. The first round of the WNBA playoffs are best 2 out of 3. That's why I think the Fever, like if Caitlin gets hot one night and then Kelsey Mitchell gets hot another night, could I see a world where they beat the Sun or the Lynx? Yes. But round 2 and beyond is 3 out of 5. And I think that is when the cream of the crop comes.
4 out of 7.
Huh?
And then the finals is 4 out of 7?
No, it's just 3 out of 5. So the first round is 2 out of 3, then it's 3 out of 5 the rest of the way. And I feel like the best teams, like if you can get out of that first round unscathed,
it's hard.
Then you'll see like the good teams. So for me, like I see Indiana, like they can make it to the second round, and that's as far as I see that thing going.
What happens if the Fever make a run to the finals? What would you say about Caitlin?
I would say it would be on. I mean, like Caitlin's not bad. Like she leads the league in assists. Like she is great at basketball. But I'm talking from. I feel like her inability to check her emotions on the court is going to cost them at some point, because it is just blatant.
When did the playoffs start?
Sunday.
All right.
The gesturing to the refs, like the crying for calls, like she's back crying for calls. She's like missing possessions because she's arguing with the referee that she was fouled. Like shit, like or she's slow to get back on defense because she's waving her hands asking for a foul. Like that stuff costs you in the playoffs.
When this WNBA season is over, whose game are you going to miss more watching, Angel Reese or Caitlin Clark?
I'll say Caitlin, because the vision that she has, like some of the passes that she pulls off every game,
they're beautiful.
Like people keep giving the Steve Nash comp, and that feels right, not because she's white and he's white, but some of the passes
Nah, what's wrong with it? Nah, it's because they white.
And because they white. Yeah, because ain't nobody call her Magic Johnson. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I wish somebody would.
So for me, it would be Caitlin's passing ability is what I'll miss the most.
All right. WWE. We can wrap up with this.
All
so
right.
we got 4 confirmed matches for Bad Blood.
Yep.
Let's just go through the thoughts so far. Quick thoughts. Damian Priest versus Finn Balor. Are we
perfect?
You think it's going to be a good match?
It needs to have a stipulation because there's a lot of Bad Blood is a pay-per-view that needs stipulations because you hate that person. So this needs to be like a chair, like a TLC match. You need something like that.
Do you think we get Demon Finn Balor for this?
Yes. We ought to. This is when you break him out.
Yeah, I do too. Liv Morgan versus Rhea Ripley for what I believe is the final time in this little saga. Do you think
to be in a steel cage?
You think Rhea
that feels like a steel cage?
You think Rhea pulls it off?
Yes. No. Because there is no stipulation, right? Because if it's a steel cage, I think Rhea wins. If there's no stipulation, I think Judgment Day gets the numbers game and helps Liv out.
Hell in a Cell, Drew McIntyre, CM Punk.
I think CM Punk's going to win. Like that promo he gave last night lets him know he's going to win.
Which part?
Just the way he's talking like a man who wants to kill Drew. Like Drew was making fun of him. Like, oh yeah, I have your bracelet, and CM Punk, nah, I'm gonna fuck you up. Like they're
makes you wonder. Where's the acting? It's a little too serious.
CM Punk is at the point where he's like, nah, dog, like I legit don't like you.
And then just announced over, I think it was last Friday.
Yep.
Solo Sikoa, Jacob Fatu versus Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns.
This won't happen because he's a face. But Cody should just walk out on Roman. Like Cody said it at the beginning of SmackDown, the bloodline is not my problem. It is Roman's problem. And buddy, I would leave him high and dry. Go kick his ass. Ain't got nothing to do with me. Ain't got nothing to do with me. That's your family, pimp. Ain't got nothing to do with me.
In a way, I'm with you. But my reaction would be if that was to happen, I'm looking at Triple H and I'm saying, dog, all right, if we took the belt off Roman for this, then I want to go back to WrestleMania and I want to tap you on the shoulder and I want to say we should just keep the belt on Roman.
Okay, you should have. I feel like Roman should have got the belt. I understood why Cody was going to win, but Cody's championship reign has not been fun. There's not been a signature match. There hasn't been a promo. The only thing we remember from Cody's reign is what The Rock whispered to him the Monday after WrestleMania, and we don't know what that is. We'll find out at the Rumble, I feel. That's the only thing I remember from Cody's reign. Everything else has been tag teams, him jumping in other stories, getting in other people's business. He'll defend the belt every once in a while.
I feel like the effort and the thought and like the pushing, I've seen it. It's been visible. It's been there. Dude, I'm just at a point now where I just don't know, man. It's not hitting for me.
Do you not know? You just don't care? Because I don't care.
Both. I don't know and I don't care. I think here's the thing with Roman, whether he was a face or most of the time he was a heel, you just felt the need to tune in because there was just a magnetism about it.
Exactly. You knew he was going to do something to get you talking. And Cody just doesn't have that pull right now. I don't care.
I think what Cody's run into is maybe the same issue John Cena started running into during the early part of his run. It's like you are such a baby face that you feel limited maybe in what you can do.
Yeah. Like I would love for him to walk out on Roman and just let Roman get his ass beat for 20 minutes. That ain't got nothing to do with me. That's your family.
Show up and then show up towards the end.
Yep.
The day.
Like, Roman, these your family. I ain't no Fatu. I ain't no none of them Samoans. That's you. That's your family. You deal with them.
Don't be surprised if the other two in the bloodline attack Cody Rhodes before the match starts so that Roman starts the match out alone.
Yeah, I wouldn't like that. I don't want Cody to be taken out. I want this to be Cody's decision. I am not here to help you. Because we know what Roman's going to say. Once I'm done getting my family in order, we coming after you. Yeah, the enemy of my enemy is my friend. If I can convince some other dudes, Cody the enemy. Now he got all them problems. Nah, dog, go handle your family.
And then it's like, yo, if we do that again, it's like we just gearing up for we just doing all this all over again for like the third year in a row.
Yep.
So, which is fair, but it's like, all right, now we gotta put a finite bow on this or get to the next evolution. So,
well, I think at Royal Rumble we're going to get Roman versus Solo, and the winner is the head of the table. Like whoever loses has to respect the other.
Or we might get that at Survivor Series because it feels like Rumble has to be the match that puts the belt in the hand of who's walking into WrestleMania as champion. Because you imagine whoever is walking into WrestleMania as champion will have to deal with the final boss that is The Rock.
Okay, that makes sense.
So
that makes sense.
Last thing. We don't really bring this segment back often, but when we bring back Speak to the Cinema, y'all know somebody watched some foolishness. I watched Ant-Man Quantumania for the first time last week.
Finally.
Jonathan Majors, you are so overly dramatic, both as an actor and in real life, that I'm at a point now where when I see you in these Goodwill Jolly Go Ranch house Negro outfits, I once thought you were trolling. I don't even think you trolling.
No, I don't think he's trolling at all.
I think that's really how he dresses. Yo, he is so overly dramatic all the time about everything.
Here is my beef with Quantumania.
What the fuck was that movie about?
If Kang is supposed to be the next Thanos, the next big bad,
your beef about to be my beef by the time I got to end this movie.
How the fuck does a C-list Avenger beat him with his daughter? If he is the next big bad of the MCU,
not even beat him with his daughter, beat this motherfucker with ants,
with legit ants.
Yo, I got to about hour 2 in this movie, and I said, "Yo, the way they made Kang look, he is about to beat his ass, or he is about to beat they ass."
Like if he is the next big bad, he should have killed Ant-Man right because that's the Kang that had all the other Kangs scared.
Just for him to get beat by some ants like zombies. He was taken over by ants like they were zombies. I finished that movie and said, "Yo, this had to have been the movie where Disney said, we have to get rid of everything that's going on with this and bring Bob Iger back," which they did.
Which they did. Because that movie should have been an hour and a half, and Kang kills Ant-Man easy. Kills him in front of his daughter. Get out of my face. I'm coming to the real world.
That movie was some bullshit. Yo, as I continue to catch up on these Marvel movies, I just sit back and I feel bad because some of y'all are so young, you don't even know about 2008 when this MCU kicked off and we got Iron Man, Captain America and Thor and the Avengers, and y'all was not around. That was real cinema. Y'all, some of y'all was young kids when Infinity War first dropped, and then when Thanos snapped his finger and sat down at the end of the movie, you was in the theater wondering when the next scene was getting ready to roll, because ain't no way to just end a movie like that.
And they did.
Some of y'all was so young that you was just a small adolescent when they came and got their revenge a few years later, and we was in theater like, get this motherfucker Thanos.
And we was in that joint crying when Tony died.
Crying.
I told you the story about when Tony died on my way home.
I was in that bitch teared up too.
So, no, I have a cousin named Tony. So I called my wife on the way home, and I was like, they done killed Tony. And she was like, excuse me?
Oh, she thought it was Cuz. She thought it was Cuz.
No. I was like, no, Tony Stark. And she's like, who the fuck is Tony Stark?
Oh, yeah. She was like, Negro, would you? What?
Yeah, that was always fun.
This might be our longest time in a minute. Listen, Kendrick Lamar, sometimes you gotta pop out and show the world. That was not a Drake diss. That was an industry diss, and if you don't get it, you don't get it.
Yeah, like he is done with Drake. Now he coming for the rest of y'all.
I don't think he done with Drake completely. I just think he done with Drake for now.
The Drake is in the corner of his eye. He is looking at other people.
There's a conversation going around of people who think that Kendrick isn't going to perform Not Like Us at the Super Bowl. Where do
And
you
he
stand?
should. He should. The people who are saying Bam gets the joke, the Tony joke, is he knows Tony too. He should. Hell yeah, performing at the Super Bowl. Do it in the state that your mentor brought you to, and y'all recorded that mixtape. Hell yeah, Kendrick. Perform Not Like Us at the Super Bowl in Louisiana. Hell yeah, do it.
Here's my thing. Here's my thing. When they called Kendrick Lamar to do the Super Bowl, you know that it was after they saw the pop-out show.
Yes.
So if you saw the pop-out show and you saw how, one, Kendrick garners an audience, and two, how he garners a conversation that is still going on, by the way. He is still one of the most talked about creatures talked about people on planet Earth right now. Do people not realize that when they called him, they had Not Like Us in mind?
They said to him, you got to perform Not Like Us if you accepting this.
They probably told him, you probably can't do the whole song, but you can do a hook and a verse. Which
What
verse?
happened?
It just can't be the verse where you're blatantly calling him a PDF file. So you have to either do the first verse or you do all the way up to a PDF file.
What'd you say, Chuck?
A PDF file.
What you call him, Chuck?
Listen. Kendrick got on Not Like Us and called him a PDF file. That's what I don't like to say the word. A PDF file. Called him a PDF file. Here's my thing, though. There are HBCU bands that are playing the band version of Not Like Us. There are HBCUs from Louisiana, specifically in New Orleans. I'm going to let everyone know right now, Not Like Us is being played. It might be They Not Like Us, They Not Like Us, or it could be all the way up into, guess what, everybody's favorite part. Trying to strike a chord, and it's probably A minor. Now, ladies and gentlemen, he may not get to the he a fan part, but if you don't think we not getting to the A minor part,
you are crazy.
You're crazy. Great show today. Bam, Kyle. Who else did I see up in here? Bam, Kyle, Jerry Bagshaw. Saw you in here earlier. Thank you guys for pulling up today. Danny, let the people know where they can find you.
You can find us on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, speakonit_pod. You can also email us at speakonitpod14@gmail.com. And you can also follow me at DannyOcean41 on Twitter.
Listen, people, make sure you follow the boy at Los Demix. That's LOSDEEMIX. Instagram, Twitter, Twitch. I am doing a DJ 30 for 30 challenge. I've been dropping a new mix every day this month on Mixcloud. So if you have Mixcloud, find me at Los Demix. All my mixes have been there. I'm maybe like 2 days late. I think the last one was like 14 or 15 that I dropped last night. It's not easy, but I will get to 30. I promise y'all that. Man, what a show. One of our longest in a while, but we had a lot to talk about. There's a lot going on in the NFL, and we started this thing off hot with our Falcons, our Eagles debate. I'm going to play this Kendrick, and we out of here, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you guys for another good week. Hey, make sure you speak on it. And look, if the NFL don't teach you nothing, it's your team when they lose on Sunday, Monday, or Thursday, can guarantee you will always sit on the couch for the next 10 minutes, stunned at what you just watched.
I know I did. We'll catch y'all next week.